Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today we are playing a deck that is oddly successful, crazily successful. My win rate with this deck on stream is like insanely high, like plus 80%, I think. And that's across like at least, like it's across a good few games. I'm not gonna put a number out there because I could be horribly wrong. But it's been quite a few games that I've played with this deck, and it does really well. And as soon as I switch to other decks, I kind of D-rank, even if they're, considered meta decks. But then as soon as I switch back to this, I seem to win. And I don't know why, because, I wouldn't say this is a great deck, but this is a key concept, right? And this is something that I think people need to understand, is when you play an off-meta deck, or a deck that people don't really know what's in the deck, you get a slight advantage already, right? Because if they're playing a meta deck, you can probably just Google, to be honest, what's in their list. But when you're playing on Ranked Ladder and you're not playing a meta deck, you're playing your own kind of list and it's doing pretty well for you, you have that innate advantage over them because they don't know what you're about to play. They don't know what to mulligan for. They don't know what to, they should keep for. Really, the champions is the only thing that they can sort of understand what might be in the deck. So let's explain what this deck is. It's an Ezreal Twisted Fate deck. But the one thing you might notice about this deck is there really isn't that many targeting of the enemy units. There's Thermo Beam, there's Make It Rain, there's Mystic Shot, and that's it. Normally an Ezreal deck will have a lot more, so you might be thinking, well, what's going on? You're playing 3 stress testing. What is going on here, Chris? Well, this I consider a continuation of sort of TF Fizz, but you can't level Twisted Fate on turn 5 anymore. That's just... It's too difficult. Maybe one day it'll be possible again, but especially with the Rummage nerf as well, it's too difficult. But this list is really good at a couple things, and that is leveling your champions pretty quick. I said you can't get Twisted Fate leveled up on turn 5, but it's very possible you can get Twisted Fate up leveled pretty quick in this deck. 2 turns after he comes down. It's possible in this deck because you have a ton of draw cards. You have, basically all the cards that say discard and draw cards on them, or they're all in the deck. You have a bunch of cards that say draw on them anyway. You have Insightful Investigator, which if left alone will draw you so many cards because you have so many 2-drops, as you can see, that, that just turns into a miracle. And you level up Ezreal because Make It Rain counts as like 2 or 3 most of the time. And because you're trying to draw a lot of cards, and Ruined Rex counts as well, this is a Ruined Rex deck, and Ruined Rex comes in pretty big, those will level up Ezreal, like, straight away. And then because you've got so much card draw, you can then, use Ezreal's level up ability, or Twisted Fate's level up ability, to just win the game, because they will win the game on their own. You'll just keep cycling through your deck, you'll just keep finding other cards, and you'll slowly chip them down, and maybe Ruined Rex will deal some damage to them as well. And eventually you'll just win the game. And it really works. It works way better than I thought. Now, you need to keep in mind, this is a deck. It's not the easiest to play because you might get fleeting cards and you might need to think, do I need to keep this fleeting card? Do I discard this fleeting card? When do you go in for a champion level up? When do you play your champions? This is all in consideration and can be difficult to, figure out at times. But if you can get the grasp of this deck, it is a really rewarding deck to play because, it's not simple. And it's a lot of fun as well. And you get to play Ruined Rex. And when you get, like, normally you're not playing Ruined Rex on turn 5, but turn 6 you definitely can. And if you can get, like, 4 cannons on turn 6, well, guess what? That's gonna, do a lot to your opponent. On turn 6, that could be a board wipe, particularly with a lot of units going around. Of course, it does pretty well against things like popping spell shields and then killing those units as well. So, yeah, it does pretty well, Ruined Rex, if you can get it up to 3 or 4 in these days. And it's just a really fun deck to play. So enjoy these games, and I will see you tomorrow when I will be streaming again. So come and hang out there, and maybe I'll play some of this deck for you so you can see for yourself that it is pretty good. Anyway, what can you do? What can you do? I do like these. I'll keep this hand, honestly. What can you do? Yeah, it's better than Azir Aurelia. Like, but I think almost anything was better than Ezreal. Like literally anything. And I do mean anything was better than Ezreal. Maybe not Lisa. I am probably an aggro person, but I like to see balance. Like, mid-range methods are the best ones by far. And like, it's not really close. That is a weird pass. I think I'd take that pass, to be honest. Did have a feeling that was coming. Okay, he could have got rid of this. Gonna Mystic that. Okay. Be my guess, bro. I think I will use this because I'm not gonna use Runerex this turn. I don't think. We'll take a Mystic shot. My own.
What is gained when you return malevolence?
Oh yeah, why not? Because he's got twin discipline something.
Flesh was weak, but look at me now.
Except for when Ashe rules mid-range. I actually don't mind Ashe ruling mid-range. There's plenty of ways of beating Ashe. Like, Ashe is good against other mid-range decks. But against, like, aggro decks and against control decks, like, Ashe struggles. Ashe is, like, the mid-range killer and is a mid-range deck. Whereas, like, other, like, if it's, like, a Demacia mid-range deck, that'll, you know, potentially deal with control a bit better. And things like that. I guess I do want to put on a bit of pressure now.
We each hold a world within.
Bomb, that feels fine.
Humanity is obsolete.
I can discard this. Okay, we can draw.
The dragon lives.
See, the dragon lives or lifts?
I don't change fate, but I can see it.
I could potentially draw. What's that? 3? I could get to 4. I'll level up Ezreal as well. Do I want to save this for like a Karma or something? Maybe I get rid of these two. That OK button? Now, deny doesn't work on this because you know, it's only one thing. We might deny like one of them. God, can you imagine actually denying one thing to keep this alive? Like, I would not have done that, my friend, but okay. Guess we'll go Ezreal now. You miss when controlled ruined. No, that I can't get on board with, I'm afraid. You've lost me. You'd think you'd need to deal with my Ezreal here. Goes for a massive thermo beam. So I'll go for this now. Puts him down on 12. How much damage is this? 1, or 2, 6, 8, 11. Yeah. Well, this is definitely. Woohoo! It's just combos that go off quicker than them is their problem, I think. And against fearsomes, then I guess I don't want you. And can the rummage as well. Mystic Shot's quite nice. Twisted Fate's quite nice. Obviously, anything that can't block fearsomes is meh. You know, it's not doing much. Now I can discard the ballistic bots thing with this, which is good. Mystic Shot can deal with. I mean, Make It Rain would be good here as well because it can deal with the onlookers pretty well. They're attacking on 1, which I don't think they want to be doing, especially with Elise and Nocturne. You want to be attacking on 2. Did they fix that Nightfall card yet? I can't think of the name. Unto Dusk with the... I don't know. I honestly do not know. That's the kind of bug that, like, like, visual bugs and the like, you know, people get on them for, like, you know, like, oh, you know, this bug is irritating me or whatever, like, and it's like, yeah, whatever. The actual, like, game bugs where, you know, things just genuinely aren't working as they're meant to, like, those, you know, normally they got on top of. You know, not straight away, most, you know, but that's the ones that they'll prioritize, obviously. Like, the cards need to work as they're meant to work. I don't even know how that doesn't work. I don't know how it could have worked before and then didn't. Like, you know, how, I mean, I don't do coding or anything like that, so, you know, I'm not an expert in this field. But how can something like, in my mind, like, has anything changed with Nightfall decks? Did anything change at all? I can't think of anything. And if not, then how the hell has that gone from working to not working? Like, you know, it's not like Ballistic Bog doesn't give you an ignition. Like, you know, how can everything else work but not that? There is a consideration to pass, but I will attack. Yeah, that bug actually makes... Yeah, because that's a really important card. And that was one of those cards. So whenever I do card evaluations, right, I tend to look at what other people are saying. You know, I check the Reddit to see what other people think about a card. You know, I check, like, streamers out, you know, to see if they're talking about cards as well. Just to see, like, where am I on a card versus where other people are. That was one that a lot of people were like, oh, this card's terrible. Why would I pay 2 mana to do that? I was really high on that card. And I said, this will be a super important card in Nightfall decks. Because drawing 1 and getting Doombeast's effect off is really good for 2 mana. That's like insane for 2 mana. And obviously you're most of the time going to find Doombeast. But for some reason, other people, they weren't having it. They were like, nope. They just thought, no way this card is good. And actually, it was. I actually think the biggest punish for our opponent here is just to pass. I mean, they obviously aren't there. But I think that by passing there, like, just in case they came back at that moment, you know, I want them to waste a whole turn, basically. I want them to waste that mana. There we go. When I play best of threes, I always use Nightfall as my pocket pick. I think that's a good way of going for best of threes, like, always, like, you know, have 2 decks that you're kind of, like, potentially, you know, meta or, like, whatever you're trying to target or whatever. But then having something that you know how to play, that you are an expert at playing, that I always think that that's a better, like, when you're an expert of a deck, like, that matters. That counts for something. Like, whether it's, you know, playing a deck perfectly, as long as it's, you know, not complete meme. Yeah. And yeah, if it is something like Nightfall where people are, oh, like, the same would be for something like Soraka Tom Kench. Like, sure, they've probably played against it in the past, but they might have forgotten exactly, like, oh, you know, they might not have played their deck against it, and so they don't know what their deck needs for it. Things like that. I think that that's a good way of going about things in general. I mean, here I guess I kind of want to stop the plunder. Probably drop a stress testing. I think Rune Rex could actually be okay. You know, if we can get Boom Baboon out, then I can discard that with the Urchine. This might be a bit more of a control type thing, though. This might does. Oh, hello! Astronomical Spec. If it's good morning, I'm guessing you're American? The only problem with Rocket Genshin's combo rules. Yeah. But I think that, you know, there are those kind of... And I think Lurk will eventually fall into that category as well. Where, you know, they won't necessarily use things straight away. Okay, this is more of a control version than it seems. But that's honestly fine. So, because it seems like more of a control version, I'm actually just gonna do that. Because he probably has Avalanche. Okay, City Breaker, interesting.
Hidden clues. It's all here.
It's all here. Could kill this, but I don't necessarily think that's worth it quite yet. Don't want to damage this. Look at us playing these cards. Okay, maybe it's not too abnormal then. Start with that. Another Mystic. We could actually use stress testing here for its first ability. Would be odd in and of itself.
Let me show you what I can do.
Crimson Disciple, that's interesting. Could still avalanche me though, is the problem. Okay, just lets it go. Is this the turn that I go for you? We've drawn one. Potentially, there are quite a few here. If I discard these two.
And that would mean
I guess I will play stress testing for its actual ability. That's not the best hit we could have got. It will level up Ezreal. City Breaker better than Braum. That might be true. That might be true. We obviously want to keep these around. But not if he passes. Let's play the Blight Ravine now. I guess I mean, attacking with those is... I guess it's mandatory. He lets it through it, don't know why he wouldn't block with that, but okay. Don't really understand that, but it's fine. What's Sejuani on? 3. Only 3, so it's not too bad. You can always stun Sejuani as well.
By my hand will Noxus rise.
I want to stun Swain here.
Deal me in. Hold it, partner. I will break them. fuse is lit! Got something for him? Who's gonna get in my way? Such little lies.
Go for Ezreal.
Carved from the savage cold.
Did think that might happen. Could have Ice Shard very easily.
If I kill you, I don't fortune, stupid.
Who do I need to get rid of? Like, the City Breaker seems pretty important to kill. He's gonna level Sejuani. Oh yeah, just Thermal Beam Swain. He could have Troll Chant. Yeah, I know the Frostbite, but I think Swain is the bigger problem, actually. Swain can kill my entire board and more. But I actually think that's a bigger issue.
Fight for your lives.
Like, I'm not too worried about losing these units. That's fine. Ezreal's winning me the game. He's really the only thing I need here.
The facts fall into place.
That's probably a mistake by them. What are you on? 7 of 9? So I can level up TF here. With this.
You pay, I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
Now I've got Make It Rain and a Mystic Shot.
I guess you can win them all.
I guess I can't quite get the stun in. Depends if he lets me... He develops again. Okay, now I can. So I have to do it with this though. Take you, and I discard you. Down to 13 cards.
Soak it in.
Now I can stun Sedge. Okay. Guess I don't want to fill my hand up, so it's actually...
I know you're thinking and
That would mean
I'm a people person.
Okay, that's killing them. And I can kill the Bjerg. And I can stun Sedge. Now these are dying.
Hold it, partner.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have got rid of oh my god. I didn't even realize that was another Ezreal. Puts him down on 1. Edge dies. So we just Mystic Shot.